Hello and welcome to Home Business Specialist. My name is Eddie, and with me in the studio today is
Bola.
Right. Together we are going to be coaching you, mentoring you, training you, helping you to become a home business entrepreneur. And we want you to be financially independent and own your time and kiss your boss goodbye. In the past few sessions of this program, we have looked at what a home business is, why you should start a home business, what do you take into consideration when choosing a home business. We have looked at how to finance your home business. And today we are going to be looking at 10 challenges of a home business entrepreneur. 10 challenges that a home business entrepreneur faces every single day. And so with me today, like I said, is Bola, who is also my co-presenter in this program.
Yeah, very true. It would be very interesting if we had just gone ahead and be telling you how nice it is to run a home-based business, like we did the first session, and how much benefit you get out of it, and how more profits, and so on and so forth. But it would not be fair and a complete picture if we don't tell you that there are challenges that comes with running a home-based business. So be very aware of them. Why do you need to be aware of them? Because when it comes your way, then at least you're prepared enough to overcome such challenges, because you know that, number one, you're not alone in it. Number two, if you're aware of something, you prepare for it. So when it happens, it doesn't hit you unaware. It doesn't become something that you're not ready to handle. So I really hope today that as we go through some of these points, you are able to identify them when they come your way, because they will come, and you'll be able to handle them when they come your way. Now, if I start with the very first challenge, that one of the challenges we think that many people that run home-based businesses have, and then Eddie and I will try and expand it on, and we go, I think we got about 10 of them, if not a little bit more. The very first one we thought is one of the greatest challenge of someone running a home-based business is staying focused. Staying focused. You know where you're going, but the problem is, as you wake up on a daily basis, you're trying to ask yourself, now, what exactly am I going to do today in order to make that sale? So, say for instance, you run a home-based business where you have to make telephone calls in order to achieve the sale required. Now, most of the time, a lot of home-based businesses already have tried and tested systems, as we have said in one of the episodes or on this show. So they know that you need to make maybe an average of 100 telephone calls in a week in order for you to get, 10 people that will end up signing up for your product. Or maybe you get 5 people that will end up signing up for your products or services. Now that eventually translates to the amount of money you want to make in a week. The problem, however, is you make the first phone call and the second and the third, and the people are not there. You're discouraged, your focus is changing, and you think, okay, let me do something else now. Also, because you're working from home, people then, sometimes call you at an odd time because they think you're not responding to any boss at this moment, so no boss is, taking charge of your time at that moment, so they believe, oh, well, Bola is going to be around anyway, so somebody calls you for a little chat. And then after that, you want to go and make coffee. And after that, there's the news, breaking news, and there's one thing after the other. So it's very, very easy to lose focus. Even maybe you stayed focused on Monday. And Tuesday, you try as well to stay focused. I need to make 100 calls this week. You make 20 on Monday, 20 on Tuesday. You don't get as well a response as you expect. By Wednesday, you think, well, maybe I should just mix it a little bit. And then you deviate from the original plan. Almost every home-based business has a plan that works for it. Now, staying on that course, making the amount of calls if required, talking to the amount of people if required, and do what you need to do step by step to achieve the result is always a major challenge. Also because probably inside of you is something that makes you want to be creative. So you think, well, why do I have to do it this way? Let me try another thing. Maybe this new one will work. And it doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Because the home-based business you are running has a tried and tested method that if only you and I follow it through and stay focused on it, we'll achieve the result. So try your best not to deviate. Eddie, what do you think about focus?
Well, it's staying focused is a very, very it's very, very difficult to stay focused in a home-based business if you are not very disciplined. For starters, there's this psychology that you have all the time in the world to There is no structured environment. You don't have to clock in somewhere or clock out. There is no boss overlooking your work or your assignment. You now own your time, and you're doing your own thing. And so it is very, very easy to lose focus from your daily tasks on the things you need to for things you need to do. Another thing I want to mention is that sometimes throughout your entire working career, you have been managed. You've been told when to come to work. You've been told when to close. You've been told when to go on break, and you've been told when to go on holidays. And then here you are now. You have all the time in the world. I find also from experience, and also having interviewed so many home business people, I find that because of this freedom in quote, there's every tendency to lose focus. There's every tendency for you to want to take a break when your break is not due. There's every tendency for you to want to take time off and go for a walk or go play a round of golf and reduce your handicap just because you own your time now. So all that contributes to you losing focus from your home business. Another thing I'd like to talk about, the second challenge of a home business entrepreneur is loneliness. Most people do not factor in the fact that they are going to be, the general saying is that you are in business for yourself, but not by yourself. But it's all well and good, very easy to say. But the reality or the fact is, at the end of the day, you are sitting down somewhere in your home, facing the wall or staring at the computer, and then there's nobody to talk to. And so for some people, they find it very difficult to cope with that degree of loneliness. And so just that means that, even if you're working on a 9-to-5 job, every now and then you get up, you walk down the corridor, or you go to the kitchen, you make yourself a cup of coffee, you have the little odd gossip here and there, office gossip, you get to know about the office politics, at least there's someone for you to interact with and then to talk to, and then so, but when you are when you're running your home-based business, most business entrepreneurs actually find this aspect of the business very, very challenging to deal with, the fact that you are stuck at your desk, trying to make something work, going through a learning curve, and there is no one to talk to. That can create a lot of psychological barrier in terms of your productivity, because there's just no one to talk to.
Yeah, very, very true. One of the first businesses we ran, jointly, Eddie and I, when we left, paid employment in order to run the business. I think the very first shock I got personally is you've always been working in an environment where you have over 100 people working in the same workplace, and everybody, in their own place, and there's always a buzz. I was working in a media organization, and there's always a buzz. Everybody's on the go, And then we resumed our work in this little room where we are running this our business, and just the two of us. There was no buzz. There was nobody. Yeah, there were goals, there were targets, but there was nobody. And I remember by 12 noon, I was thinking, is this how the day is going to go? Is this how we're going to be every time? So Monday wasn't bad, but by Tuesday I was really feeling serious withdrawal syndrome from having people around, and many of us are like that. And that's even easier because we were two of us working the business. So I can now imagine if you're the only one working the business, the level of loneliness. You want to talk to somebody at some point, there's nobody to talk to. Because everybody's gone to work, they're 9-to-5 work, they're with their bosses. You also don't want to waste your time, so you don't want to be chatting during the course of the day. Even if you had a pet, there's a limit to how you can talk to your pet. Your pet probably will not talk back to you. So we don't like the travel in the trains. We don't sometimes like some of the people we work with, but you know what? They play a big part in our lives, and you fill that hole when you start working from home. But unless you make up your mind that, okay, this is part of the drill, there's going to be times I'm going to be lonely. What exactly do I need to do when I'm lonely? Because those are things you need to think about and plan for. So yeah, I will be lonely. So I'll work for 4 hours. I will, pick up something. I will go, go to play golf if you're that way inclined for 2 hours, and I'll talk to people. I have a golfing partner that has similar schedule like I do. I will go to the gym. I'll join a group. You need to have, shall I use the word, an outlet, somewhere where you also get a chance to talk to people. Otherwise, you will get discouraged, you will get lonely, you will stop. So loneliness is a big issue. We think it's nothing. Many of us say, I want to live my life by myself. I like my company. I don't like other people's company. I just enjoy my company. It's all good when you know that with that company, you still get in touch with people every now and then. But as time goes on, you know, month one rolls into month two, it becomes a little bit more difficult. And if you're not careful, you become an antisocial person.
Yes, loneliness is a major problem. It ranks actually second on our list of top 10. So it's very important, like Bola said, so for you to create avenues where you can be. There's just something creative about engaging other people. And so loneliness is something that needs to be properly taken care of. Provide a strategy to handle loneliness. Join your local groups. Join a breakfast meeting. Join if there's a country club around where you live, join one, and then just go in there, and so you can engage others as well. The third on our list is the third challenge of a home business entrepreneur is consistency. And that is going the long haul. So most people find it very difficult to be consistent. And again, if you look at the first point, we talked about staying focused, and then look at the second point, loneliness. Of course, you find that if you lack focus and you are lonely, it affects your creativity. That ultimately will impact on your level of consistency. And so consistency is the rule of the game when it comes to home business. The mistake most people make is that the moment you hear home-based business, you tend to associate home-based business to get rich quick. You know, so it is a business. It's just that it is home-based. And so the focus most of the time is on the home and not on the business. And so if it's a business, then it means that it will go through every single stage a normal brick and mortar business will go through. And so that means that you have to go the long haul. You have to be consistent. You have to plan. You have to have a vision. You have to have drive. You have to be determined in order to be able to stay consistent at what you do.
Yeah, very true. I just thought about an example as well. One of the home-based businesses we ran, when I started out, I was the one that was in charge of the operations of that particular business. When I started out, the franchise owner decided to pass to me some clients that belonged to another gentleman that had left that business. He left the business because he hit the phone, he called and called and called, and he got nothing out of it. And he couldn't stay on, you know, for that time, like Eddie said earlier, where, you know, it gets to the point where, whether you believe it or not, there's a tipping point where it starts earning. And as he couldn't stay on, some of the clients had to be managed and taken care of by somebody else. So as we were just coming into the business and I was involved in the operations, these clients were passed on to me. Now, one of these particular clients that belonged to this other gentleman, he did so much repeat business with us that it was, we became the top salespeople of the year just because of that one client that other gentleman had done all the work with. Why did he not reap what he planted? Simply because he was not consistent enough. He didn't wait long enough to get the result out of it. I want to encourage you that when you stay consistent at it, if it's a phone call you need to do in your line of business, to go on. If it's a presentation, stay at it. If it's door to door, whatever it is that your line of business expects you to do, stay at it, be consistent at it, because it eventually pays off. Let me just remind you that that business you're about to run, somebody has put together the structure that makes that business work, because it's a tested structure. So it is tested that you will knock 100 doors in order to get one result. So keep on knocking, because it is not about you. So consistently knock until you get that one result.
Exactly. Talking about consistency, the pitfall when you run your home-based business is that you want result, and you want result now. But just like any other business, there is what is called pipeline. Pipeline simply means that you build rapport, and then you build a pipeline of potential customer, a long list of potential customers. So, for example, if you start engaging someone in month one, if you engage a prospect in month one, do not expect the prospect to pay you in month one. Expect the prospect to pay you in month 3. So you plan for that. And so if I engage a prospect in month 2, I expect the prospect to pay me in month 5. So that way, the first 3 months, all I'm doing is building what is called a pipeline. And so by after 90 days, by month 3, the gentleman I engaged or the prospect I engaged in month 1 will pay me. And then by month 4, the one I engaged in month 2 will pay me. And that's how it rolls on and on and on. But if you don't have the concept of a pipeline at the back of your mind, you will expect your prospect to pay you and pay you now. You will not think the long haul. And then one of the things that really make people give up easily or lack consistency is because of lack of results. So you find that lack of results make people give up very easily, and lack of results is the number one reason why people fail to be consistent, because by the moment you do one thing the first time, the second time, or the first 90 days, there is no outcome, or there's no positive feedback or result or outcome, there's every tendency to slack and then look for another line of business or another line of work. So I want to encourage you to stay consistent. Is the number 3, is the number 3 source of a challenge for a lot of home business people.
Very true. Another one that we need to be very, very mindful of is time management. Time management is a major challenge for a lot of people. Eddie mentioned something earlier, and that's the fact that you have been working in an organization where you clock in, you clock out, you are told what to do, you have objectives, they are given to you as goals, you know what you need to achieve before lunch hour and by the end of the day. You also know that if you don't do it, by so time, everybody else down the chain don't get to do what they need to do. So because of that, somebody breathes down your neck. Because of that, you think you can manage your time. No, you are being managed. That's why your manager is earning more than you. Now, you then think, I just want to get on with it because I know everything I need to do in order to make money, which is great. The only problem is you've never really had the privilege of managing your time before. So you're not running a business where you have to manage your time. You now have a big issue because you want to make phone calls when you are meant to be returning emails, you want to return emails when you are meant to take a break, and so on and so forth. And you think, well, I've got 8 whole hours, to do all of these things. But the reality is they go ever so quickly, particularly if you don't have a proper plan for the time. I want to say to you that if you're not very good at managing your time, take a course. Take their online courses. There are physical courses you can go to, short-term courses on time management. They are very, very helpful. One of the things time management course helps you do is helps you not to procrastinate. Why did I say procrastination? Because things we don't like to do or things that we find difficult to do, we naturally procrastinate about them. So you think, well, I don't really want to make phone calls. So guess what you end up doing? You end up doing all the administrative work, but you're not selling. You end up doing all the back-end work, but you're not selling. And if you have to produce a product, you end up doing the production of that product, but you're not selling. Why? Because I don't like selling. So all of a sudden, every other thing takes your time, but the thing that will bring in the income. So if you're not careful, you will not know how to manage your time right. If you're going to be a successful home-based business entrepreneur, you need to find the things, the balance that makes your business work in managing your time. 20% to administration, 30% to product and product knowledge and service knowledge, 40% to sales, and getting in front of people that will buy the product, 30% to, after sales or care, whatever it is, but you have to have proper measure of your time.
Exactly. Time management is a major, major challenge for most people. And again, like we said earlier, when we were talking about loneliness and consistency, when it comes to time management, most people who have been employees before, they've spent their years being managed. Like we said earlier, what you are told what time to come in, you are told what time to close, you are told what time to go on break and what time to go on vacation. And so basically, you have not really developed the art of managing time or managing yourself. And so most people face this issue the moment they come in to run their business. And one of the things you find is that for the first few months, you just lack structure. You lack structure, you lack coordination, you lack a sense of focus because of this particular issue of time management. And so I would advise that, plan your day in advance. Plan your day in advance. Spend your time on the things that produce the highest amount of revenue for you. And so as a home business owner, you should be talking to new people about your business every time. You should be, and that's called prospecting. You should spend a lot of time prospecting. You should spend a lot of time doing presentation, telling people about your business. So prospecting means talking to somebody about your business. Presentation means showing the person how the business is run. You should spend a lot of your time closing, and that is getting people to order and buy your products. And then fourthly, you should spend a lot of money, a lot of time getting people to get started, or get them to use your product and get referrals. So there are productive things you must do, but again, you must plan to do these things. If not, you end up doing the right thing at the wrong time and doing the wrong thing at the right time. So time management is crucial for you to do this. And so get books to read, go on courses online that will help you manage your time better. The fourth thing we notice when it comes to the challenges of running a home-based business is financial difficulties. Again, a lot of people start their home business too geared up. What we mean by too geared up is that especially if you start with a loan, that is, you start with a very high debt ratio. And so if your debt ratio is very high, you will find that you are constantly under pressure to get that business to produce. Secondly, if you have not made adequate provision for what is known as working capital. Working capital is that amount of money that keeps you going and helping you work your business. It's called working capital. You will find that there's financial pressure can come in. And so you find that instead of working your business, you are actually worried about the interest you need to pay back in the loans, or the credit card payments you need to make. And also, if you are not very robust when it comes to financial backing, you then find that you are actually looking to that home business to feed you or to take care of you. And so financial difficulty is also one thing that gets a lot of people really challenged. Now, the reason, again, we did a survey on this, we find that a lot of people start a home-based business because they need to earn money. And that is also one wrong reason for you to start a home-based business, because you are starting a home-based business already under pressure. So if you are in need of, if you are in need to live off your home-based business, you want to make sure that you are actually fully robust when it comes to capital. In other words, you have enough capital that will tide you over for a few months before the business itself starts yielding revenue. And so you find that financial difficulty is one thing that poses a great challenge to home business entrepreneurs. Bola?
Yes, I totally agree with Eddie there, and I just wanted to add very quickly that if you don't manage financial difficulties well, it's one of the major reasons why people quit their home-based business. You've done it for a while, it's not yielding as quickly as you expect, your bills keep on coming, you get depressed, and you know what you naturally go to do? Fall back on what you're used to do, which is go back and pick up a job. Let somebody else, bear all this. But what that means is all the money spent on the product or service that you have gone into, all the time spent up to that point, it's just gone down the drain. So I want to, like Eddie mentioned, encourage you to ensure that you have some savings that will tidy you up for a while. So if in the line of business you're going into, you have been assured through statistics and all the things put in place that you'll get returns in 3 months, I would encourage you to put money aside for 6 months. If you can run your home-based business alongside an employment until it starts generating enough income for you that equates to what you earn, I would say even better. So don't get under financial pressure, because when we're under financial pressure, we don't think. Because all you just want is, you just want money. And when you want money, you can't even be creative about what you do. You can't put a face, you can't put feelings into what you do. And the person on the other side will know it as well. So you just look like somebody that's just desperate to earn money off them. And that doesn't make a relationship work, let alone a business.
The next point is frustration. Frustration in itself is a major challenge for home business entrepreneur. Now, the question was, we say frustration here because there are so many reasons why people get frustrated in a home-based business. The first 5 points create frustration in a home-based business, but the top of it all, one of the main reasons why people get frustrated is lack of results. And so if you run a home-based business for a few months and you're not getting tangible results. There's someone I was coaching about a few weeks ago in the US. She runs a home-based business, and she was saying she's been running this home business for a while now, and there is no, she's not really made any money from it. And on the contrary, she's spending so much because she has to go from house to house, and then she drives long distances to do this business. And so she said she was getting frustrated. And so we have to look at various things we can do and various strategies we can put in place to ensure that she succeeds in her home-based business. And so lack of result is one major source of frustration. And so you find that if you are doing the same thing, doing the same thing, and you're not getting results, you get easily frustrated. But again, we want to also address the issue of skills. Sometimes you find that if you do not have the right skill for what you are doing, then frustration becomes inevitable. And so a lot of people do not pay particular attention to the demands and the requirements of starting a home-based business. We focus mainly on the financial freedom that is promised, the time freedom that is promised, but we never really get to sit down and look in details to the certain skills requirements required for a home-based business. So now you find that if you lack skills, for example, if you lack prospecting skills, you will be frustrated. If you lack telephone skills, you will be frustrated. If you lack closing skills, you will be frustrated. And so you find that if your conversion rates are very, very low, you can easily become frustrated in your home-based business. So frustration is one major challenge for home business entrepreneurs as well.
Yeah, I don't think we have a lot more time to take any more than this today. So, Eddie, over to you in closing.
Well, we will have to close from here. We still have to talk about motivation, innovation, discouragement, and government legislation. We will find this time next week. We will continue next week, and we will look at we will complete the challenges of home business entrepreneur. But for now, from us from this studio, we want to thank you for watching. Send us an email. We want to be able to help you, coach you, mentor you, make sure that you become the best you can possibly be in this area of a home-based business. And so from our studios today, thank you and God bless.